Hey you all, Retro here, bringing you something a little bit different. This is going to be more of a personal one-on-one type video. I'd like to touch on something that I have noticed over the last couple of years in my time while streaming and playing Fromsoft games, and why it has its negatives. If you've spent even a small amount of time within the Souls or just gaming community in general, you've probably come across the term backseating. What does the term mean on the surface? Backseat gaming is when a person not playing the game wants to play the game for the person that's actually playing it.
He's coming! Shut up! Ah! Run! First person! Stop backseat gaming!
Now, backseating itself can come in different forms. Sometimes it can be from a place of sincerely wanting to help someone and support them through a struggle or a difficult spot. Unfortunately, though, more often than not, it comes in the form of, you should have done this, why didn't you do that, you should go for this build, etc., etc.
Cursed fiends, their children too. And their children forever true.
巫女よ、もう一度言う。不死のちぎりを俺と結べ。
Now, to be very clear, it is not a problem to be supportive and helpful in somebody's first playthrough or just in their gaming journey. That is obviously a welcome thing. We all want people to be supportive. We all want, positive guidance and feedback and things like that. The issue is when somebody is trying to play the game and have their own experience, and somebody outside of that decides for them how that experience is going to go. At that point, it becomes a problem. Unfortunately, some people just don't know how to provide that guidance or simply don't realize that they are taking away from that experience. So it is very important to identify and differentiate those circumstances and those scenarios, and know that not everyone is trying to be malicious and take away from that experience. Sometimes that can be a really great opportunity to have that conversation with that community member and just share with them how that can affect your overall, first playthrough experience and what kind of feedback works best for you in your learning process. Like I said, unfortunately, there's just a lot of people that don't know the best way to provide that feedback or that guidance, and sometimes it's just a matter of having that conversation, and from that point moving forward, everything is totally fine and they have a much better idea of what works for you. Sure, some people may want to be guided completely from start to finish, but the point is that giving the player that choice to decide to seek guidance or continue seeking answers themselves is huge in the overall experience one walks away with. Making that decision for somebody else is very much in the same realm as choosing a random moment to drop spoilers that defeat a buildup. Both make a choice of how the other person's experience is going to go. The person playing the game gets robbed that choice themselves, and this includes learning things the hard way. Early in my Souls gaming, I needed help. I needed guides and walkthroughs. It's 100% okay to want and need those. For me, I realized that I was taking away from the overall discovery and learning of the games. I didn't want my first playthroughs of the Fromsoft games to end. Each one was bittersweet. Low leveling, no armor, mediocre weapons, etc. were all things that I chose to do in games like DS3, Sekiro, and Bloodborne. I knew doing those things would make those playthroughs last longer, and I ended up learning so much more about the games and knew I wanted to replay them again to test that process of learning and see, the the different areas that I may have had weakness in, or had truly learned those fights and those battles. Point of the story, don't be that person. If you notice someone is struggling, it's incredibly easy to just ask, hey, do you want a tip or any suggestions? That's all it takes to know if someone is open to it or not. Don't take experiences from others, especially ones you've enjoyed yourself. Don't be an experienced vampire.